Hi, everybody, and welcome back. It is Angelic Ray coming to you once again at Angelic Soul 11. And I want to say happy spring equinox. I am going to give it some time for people to come in. However, I do want to jump on the subject of like the rebirth, death, healing, reprogramming topic, because it seems nowadays that it looks like I'm just jumping right into it, right? But the reason why I chose to bring up this topic, other than the fact that it is a spring equinox, it's a day of balance, right? And balancing between light and dark, day and night. A lot of the times people talk about wanting to heal or being healed, and they want to book a session. And first and foremost, I don't give a fuck about your dollar. I don't care about your money. I don't do what I do because of your money. So I put that out there because it is extremely important for you to know where you are in your life, to really know if you really are wanting to heal, if you are ready to do the work. A lot of the times, we say, I'm over this situation, and I'm speaking from experience. So don't even I'm not even trying to be a hypocrite and say that I don't go through this stuff too, right? I wouldn't have been on my journey if I didn't have to freaking overcome a bunch of lessons, right? Claiming to want to heal and then just expecting a quick fix, that is where a lot of toxicity comes from. That is enabling oneself to stay in the form of resistance towards growth, right? In certain aspects, but also in an unchanging manner, which is not natural, right? Change is inevitable. It is natural in nature. And people right away, sometimes they want to book a Reiki session, and they go through this. And I have to ask, before you book any Reiki session, before you book a one-on-one mentoring, are you willing to let go of what made you sick? Yes. Okay. And then when it comes time to let go of the sickness and the habits that created the sickness, the imbalances, all of a sudden you are the devil and the demon, and you're wicked and mean and harsh, and all these things. And hurts people. If you are financially hurt, you do not heal by financially hurting another. You cause more pain. You cause more spirit of lack and poverty into your reality, as opposed to shifting your vibration into a spirit of abundance and prosperity, right? Or if you are going through, let's say you had a surgery, and like a physical surgery, right? And you are consuming foods that create lots of inflammation in the body. You're creating resistance for the healing to happen. You have to let go of certain things for certain processes, right? And these things are important because a lot of the times, we want it to be beautiful sunny days, and sometimes it's raining outside. And can you still allow yourself to be the light in the darkness? Can you still allow yourself to say, okay, I can neutralize these energies. I can utilize the plasma that's in this rain, that's in this storm, to be a life force energy that is going, because plasma is life force energy, right? But a lot of the times, the plasma that's in these storms came to destroy shit. And are you going to allow yourself to be the destroyer to uphold, that balance within oneself? Or are you going to allow that which is outside of you to destroy you, to keep you off of your balance and your natural rhythm? Right? And even in that natural rhythm, there is going to be change, right? A metamorphosis of change, but this change comes with a certain balance, right? It comes at a certain order. For example, a caterpillar has to go and change into a cocoon before it turns into a butterfly, right? But it's not gonna go and turn into a bee. It's gonna turn into a butterfly. If it's turning into a bee, it's something has become out of order, and then it's unnatural. And in that unnatural state, kind of having to look at, okay, well, it shifted. Now, yes, there are forms of shape shifting, for those of the technical, they're like, oh, well, if you're going to be technical, there is a such thing as shape shifting. Yes. And even that comes with a certain level of consciousness and organic balance of nature structured within one's being to be able to do these things, right? And you have to be healthy, right? You have to really know thyself, and it comes with having to let go. You cannot shapeshift into a being if you aren't willing to let go of your legs. Like, that just doesn't make sense, right? You have to let go to transform. And when we are coming into a new season, that is exactly what happens. We let go of, everything is seasonal, right? So there's certain things that don't cross over into the next season, and there's certain things that they can thrive in all seasons, right? And even as they are thriving in all seasons, they are changing throughout those seasons, and they have a letting go and a rebirth process. And it was important for me to, great rising, everyone that's coming in. It's very important for me to kind of get this subject out there, because a lot of times I get people that want mentorship, and then I'm all for it. I'm all for growth and changing, because I go through my own stuff. Like, I personally, there's things that I know I have to let go, and I'm like, oh, do I have to let it go? Like, yes, angelic, you gotta let it go. If you really want to heal, and you really want to be a better version of yourself, or get to a certain goal, do it. There's times when I have to let go of my ego so that I'm higher in spirit, right? And there's times when I have to let go of the emotional attachment to things so that I can allow my logical side to really keep me balanced, right? There's times when I have to let go of my fears so I can accomplish a goal, right? There's times you have to be willing to let go. If it's not to say that anything is bad or good. It is to say that if you are going for a specific goal, a specific task, a specific thing in your life, it requires a certain formula. And if that formula is not done correctly, there can be an imbalance, and therefore you may have to end up doing it again, You're going to have to do it again until you get the formula correct, Yes, in addition, there's different ways of adding, 7. It could be 4 plus 3 or 6 plus 1. However, the formula to get to that number is the same formula. It may look different on different people because they might be in different places in their lives and have to let go of different things, but the formula is universal. The formula is the same. You can sit there and try to book as many Reiki sessions as you would like, but if you are not doing the work, that energy is going to come back to you because you are inviting it. You are calling it in. You are resisting the change. You are choosing the sickness over the cure. So it doesn't matter if you did Reiki 1 time, 7 times, 300 times. It doesn't matter if you go and you put a spell on somebody to try to make them love them. If the natural order is not natural love and there is sickness or imbalance in that formula, guess what? There's going to be a resistance in that love. And therefore, that love spell will not naturally work because it's not in its natural order. So therefore, I end up looking like a meanie or stern and hard at times, and I fucking love. Like, I love for real. I love so much that sometimes it's tough love. Sometimes, I have to say things that make people uncomfortable. Sometimes I go through experiences that are very uncomfortable. But that is how I am able to crack open out of my seed and grow. I allow the waters of the rain to pour into me so that I grow. I allow for the plasma force of the universe, of that rain, of the waters, of the light, to allow its essence and molecular structure of the universe, the geometry, sacred geometry, to integrate in perfect love and perfect trust into my being, because I'm saying I willingly let go what is not serving me, so that I am in natural rhythm with where it is that I want to go, with what it is I'm trying to manifest, with who I am in all realms, in the true aspect. I allow myself to shapeshift into this new me. I allow myself to become a rising sun after I was a setting sun yesterday. My sun has set yesterday in that formation, and today I must formulate myself to rise into this new being. So in order to do so, I have to let go of the formula of what is to be like a setting sun. I have to go into the formula of the rising sun. I have to let go of being in a space of darkness all the time to see the light, right? But I have to go into the darkness to see the light, and I have to see the light. I have to see darkness to see the light. We have to go through different transformative spaces, but we have to allow ourselves to let it go so that we can heal. A lot of the times, not just the financial thing or the surgery thing, health, if you're dealing with health conditions and you truly want to heal, you cannot just, yes, prayer works. Prayer works. But faith without works is dead. You have to be willing. It doesn't matter if you do Reiki 1 time, 15 times. You can go to your local hoodoo, voodoo, shaman, and you will get stronger. There will be an energetic clearing. But you have to let go of the sickness. You have to let go of the foods that cause that sickness. You have to let go of the environment that cause that sickness to remain in a space of health. Otherwise, you are inviting it over again into your environment. You cannot say, I'm doing an energetic cord cutting, and then just sit there and energetically call the person back. You have to be willing to let go. Now, there's different reasons for cord cutting, right? So, speaking on cord cutting, maybe you want to just energetically cord cut because you want to be more in tune with your energy, and not necessarily because you want the people out of your life, but you just want to be in a space of self completely in that moment. That's okay. Because, a lot of healers have to do that, or even like mediums. So that way, and they can be married, and sometimes they have to cord cut from their significant other. Right? And it's not because they want a divorce or, there's an imbalance in that marriage, but because they are going to get into some energy work that can get really toxic, and they don't want to put that energy to transfer onto their being. So they do so in an energetic space of clearing, right? And these things are important because at the end of the day, that cord is going to regain itself the moment they're like reconnecting with their spouse, right? And so in instances like that, that's not what I'm talking about. But I am talking about in instances where you are absolutely coming out of like a toxic relationship, and you are needing to energetically, physically, mentally, emotionally, everything, just detach yourself from this person because you had come into a space of being in an imbalanced state with yourself, and your goals are not being met. You are feeling more fatigue. You are getting into a space of depression. You are emotionally unavailable. You are intelligently unresponsive. Just logically unresponsive. So many different imbalances, right? Hormonally out of whack, right? And you say, okay, you do a healing session, you do some Reiki, you do some cord cuttings, you do some affirmations in front of the mirror, and you like, I love myself, I feel good. And then the test comes, and this being wants to come back into your life. If they did not change, and you are still in the middle of your transformation, and you did not change, and you go back to your comfort zone, are you allowing yourself to truly change and heal? Are you really wanting to heal? You let them back in, and you go back into the cycle of imbalances. You don't allow your hormones to recover and heal and reformulate themselves into a healthier, higher vibration. You don't allow yourself to really get acquainted with what your mind needs, your body, your emotions, your spirit, and therefore you didn't allow the toxicity, you didn't allow the toxins to leave. And I speak from experience. I had to learn these things, and day by day, I see these lessons in my face, and I'm just like, wow. Even when people from the past try to come in now, I try to feel energetically where they're at and where I'm at. Is this an energy that did they do their healing? Is this a conversation I need to have with this person? Because if not, I'm not even going to waste my time. Things didn't work out. I love you from a distance. That's okay. It doesn't mean you stop loving. It means you love enough to be in the space of change and transformation and everlasting eternal life, everlasting love, everlasting growth and experience and good health and good wealth and good fortune. You love them and love yourself enough to say, we are better in our separation to be in the greater good of our higher self, for the bigger picture in our God body essence, to be in a balanced state. I sometimes, I'm going to use an example. I'm not going to say who or what, but, there's a person who they have ulcers, IBS, tinnitus, issues with the joints. And, while coffee has many good health benefits, all foods have pros and cons to them, right? And this person loves drinking coffee. And I'm like, they always ask me, please, I've done Reiki sessions on them. I've give them mudras to energetically clear that energy. And oh my God, the mudra worked. That was so magical. Thank you so much. I feel so much better. Or, oh my God, I feel so much better with the Reiki. It's so powerful, and this, that, and the third. And then they go and drink a cup of coffee and their pain is back. And the ringing in the ears is louder than the spirits of the Most High that's trying to talk to them. But they can't hear because the ringing of the imbalances in their body is louder than the ringing of the spirits of the angels trying to just put life and healing into this being. And coffee is going to cause inflammation in those joints. It's going to break down the system and a lot of the healthy cells that they need to recover, and it's not going to help with their healing process. But they refuse to let go of the coffee. And so they're like, oh, well, the doctor said it's never going to go away. So then why do you think that you can get Reiki and do mudras and stuff? Like, why do you want a temporary fix? And you don't want to fix yourself. So you want to utilize the energies around that's vampiric. That is toxic. That is a toxic mindset. That is a toxic habit. That is a toxic behavior. And you are refusing to let go of the toxicity for temporary pleasurement. And that is rude and disrespectful. And so I have to ask myself, am I going to be rude and disrespectful to myself and continuously put myself in the space of doing energy work on a person who can't even follow a simple instruction? Even if it's temporarily. Maybe they don't have to let coffee go forever. Maybe it's just a right now thing. Maybe it is a forever thing. But if they're not willing to make the sacrifice in themselves to make the change, why should I sacrifice myself to continue to harm myself to try to save another? That's toxic. That's toxic. I was that toxic person that wanted to save other people so much that I was toxic with myself. And so I said, wait a minute, no. I'm enabling them, and I'm enabling my toxic behaviors by saying, that they're in pain and I'm trying to help them. they have to be willing to help themselves. They have to be willing to, and if you see that they are willing to help themselves, but they're struggling in that, that's different, right? That's like when I go to the gym and I'm, passing a certain barrier that I haven't passed with myself, right? And I'm like, oh, and my body is like wanting to resist, is wanting, oh, wait a minute. And I'm like, wait, I have to breathe into that space and say, no, if I want to beat this fat out of me, I have to let go of it. I have to let go of the resistance that's telling me I can't do this. And I have to tap into my strength and willingness to change. I am capable. I am worthy. I am healthy. And so I force myself I become the force as opposed to allowing it to force me into submission. I submit to my truth and my power. So there is a form of submission, but it is a submission to God, source, self, love, light, truth, as opposed to submission to fear, scarcity, lack, fear of incapabilities, tapping into the weaknesses. We have to learn how to make our weaknesses our strength. Anything that you cannot fast from, you are a slave to. I started allowing myself to fast again once a week at least. And so it's once a week fasting so intermediate fasting, right? Which is a normal day of eating, really eating once a day. And that's at sunset on that day of the week. Because I am not a slave to my cravings. I am not a slave to my food. But guess what? When I break that fast, I break it with foods that are nurturing me, that are nourishing me, that are making me happy and healthy and wealthy. I used to smoke every day, multiple times in a day. I enjoy the pleasure of smoking. But I had to break out of that habit to reach a certain level of health and be a vibrational match to that which I was moving towards to in my life and my goals. So I had to let go of smoking. Now I pick and choose when I want to smoke, if I smoke. I am not a slave to it. And afterwards, if I do smoke, I detox after to make sure I am balancing and clearing. And also allowing myself to say, okay, if I'm going to smoke, what is the healthiest way that I can smoke? What am I smoking? Because I like the sensation. I love my shadow side. I love dancing in the seduction of how I feel my lips and my face and my aura, my body in that passionate Mars energy of working with the elements all together to create a seductive smoke coming out of me, right? That projection. I love that. The sensation. But I also know that it decreases the certain amount of oxygen that goes into my blood and the water flows in my being, right? What it causes in my lungs and my liver. And so I have to make sure that if I want to heal, I have to let go of that. I haven't smoked a cigarette in I don't even know how long. But I'll smoke me some herbs. And sometimes it's not even weed, because I used to smoke weed all the time. Now sometimes I'm smoking me some mullein with some mugwort and freaking some bay or cinnamon. I'm mixing it up, blending it up, some African blue lotus if I want to smoke, right? Some chamomile. I'll do me a whole smoke blend. To allow it to become medicine, right? I transformed a habit that I had that was a weakness into a strength, because now when I choose to indulge and engage with that toxic behavior, I do it in a way that it is at its highest frequency. Because it's still going to change the frequency of the throat chakra, because any type of smoking, this is a very purifying chakra, right? It's very etheric, and the higher vibrations, it doesn't like smoke. It really doesn't. So I know that if I'm going to do it, hey, let me add some mullein in there, where it is at least going to be, if you smoke mullein, it actually purges and cleanses the lungs. So now, instead of killing myself, I use it as a medicine. And I don't do it every day. So I learned to say, okay, if this is my weakness, and I'm here from my experience and of this human experience, and to balance this out, how do I keep my mind, body, spirit in balance with each other? I pace myself. I let go of the things that need to get let go of. You want to eat a pizza? Cool, eat your pizza. But make sure you're doing some exercise to kind of break down the fats. And your body's going to digest the food and start breaking it down. But some foods they're so processed that it's hard for the body to break it down. They have so much mucus that it makes it harder for the body to break down. So try to work out. Do some exercise. Drink a tea before and after. Incorporate some sea moss or something into your diet to kind of break down the mucus, or have a lemon lime water. To balance it out. If you don't want to let it go, how do you make it work for you so that it is not causing you harm? That is another way that you try to heal and you allow yourself to be reborn. That is the reprogramming that you do. You do not allow yourself to be in a space. My sister sending me a message here. Lemon or lime. Yes. You can't sit there and say, hey, yo, Reiki healer, can I get some Reiki to burn this fat off of me? What? Yeah, I need Reiki so I could lose weight. Oh, you could do Reiki for anything, says the ego. Because technically, Reiki's in everything, and you can do Reiki for anything. And so, with time, the person will start to submit to the energetic exchange that had began to formulate in their mind so that they can start losing some weight, right? But for how long? until they need another Reiki session. Oh, maybe they get some Sodalite. I'm buy me some Sodalite or Apatite because I heard that these crystals are really good for this. Okay. But are you willing to let go of being bounded into what is making you sick, into what is making you imbalanced, into what is making you fat? Because if you are not, don't you ever think of disrespecting me. And now I'm speaking me personally, me. By trying to reach out to me for any of my quote unquote services if you're not willing to help yourself. Because the response that you're going to get is the response of that which is going to say, angelic, yo, you salty like the motherfucking ocean. Like the fucking ocean. I can go from calm to hell. If you can't swim, you're gonna drown, baby. And if you drown, are you willing to let go of the fear of death? I told you in the beginning of this video, I don't want your money. I energetically exchange and receive that. Because I also live in this third dimensional realm with you as well. And here, we have to pay for things. And so I allow myself the lavish abundance of the universe in all forms, because money is an energetic exchange. But I am not a slave to the point where I degrade my energy, deplete myself, disrespect myself for $1 bill. No, I'm good. I've done some really toxic shit for different reasons. Because I was in a space of toxicity. I thought I knew better. I didn't always know better. But I had to let go. I had to change. I had to allow myself to say, wait a minute, if this shit ain't working and I'm trying everything, why have I not tried? Because it's in that what I haven't tried where the answers are. Because if you've already done everything, and everything that you're doing now, you're driving yourself mad. That is the definition of insanity. Doing the same things over and over and over and expecting a different outcome. No. It might be doing one thing slightly different. Like I said, the formula is going to be the same. How you apply the formula looks different. Because you might have to do 4 plus 3, but the whole time you sitting there doing 6 plus 1, and 6 plus 1 is not the way that you need to. The formula is the same. You got to add something in there. You just got to do it differently, beloved. And sometimes that's on the light side. On the shadow side, that's the same shit we be motherfucking doing to keep in the, okay, I'ma stay with, I wanna get the number 9. My goal is to get to 9. And you steady adding 6 plus 1, getting 7. Steady adding 4 plus 3. Oh, now you start doing 5 plus 2. Dude, you gotta change something. You're still adding up to the number 7. That's not the number 9. Let go of your attachment of how you used to do things that you got, those things worked for you when you was trying to get to 7. But guess what? 7, 8, 9. Eat that bitch up. Eat that bitch up. Change it up. You got to change it up so you get to your goal. Your goal is 9. Your goal is no longer 7. Those things worked for you. Those patterns worked for you when you had to get to 7. Now you have to get to a different space. So you got to do things differently. Let go of the attachments of what you learned to get to 7. You learned the lesson, but you don't have to be a slave or attached to that. Because now you got somewhere new to go. Something else to do. It's like when you look at fruits. Sometimes some people get so attached to eating a certain fruit every single day in the morning. But then they're eating it out of season. That attachment, that fruit is not as nourishing to you out of season. That your body doesn't break it down the same, and the molecular structure of the genetics of that plant or that fruit isn't to its highest potential, isn't to its greatest potential. But your attachment to eating that fruit every day will have you eating that fruit out of season. No, let it go. Eat a fruit that's within season. I bet you feel better. I bet you will feel better. A lot of the times we ask ourselves, how can we get out of our financial situation? But then we get these stimulus checks that stimulate us to go shopping, and we sit here and we want to book these quick fixes and, to stimulate our emotions and our ego. But we can't let the money go into a space where it is going to pay us back. Let go. If you're going to let go of those dollars anyway, let them go into an investment that is going to pay you back. Because at least you are creating a solution where your problems once were. If part of the sickness is lack, and the universe supports you in a way to cure that lack and that scarcity, why are you going to go shopping and spending it in spaces and places that is not going to pay you back? To find yourself in the position to be worried again and have to wait and depend on a stimulus check. Stimulate your stimulus. Learn to educate yourself. Either educate yourself, or if you're going to put that money somewhere, put it in an investment where someone's either going to guide you or help you. Whether they are, I am not a financial advisor, you know what I'm saying? But there's definitely certain things that I'm constantly saying, hey, yo, look into this. You want to get out of your situation? Trust me. I've been in many different sides of the spectrum when it comes down to money. You want to learn to make money over the phone? You on your phone anyways. You're going to watch somebody live on Instagram and YouTube and Facebook. So why not learn how to make money on the phone or on your computer? Or doing what you love. Or if you don't want to put yourself out there with the people, there's ways of doing it without having to put yourself out there with the people. Or go and utilize your time. Pay attention, right? Because you're still paying something. Pay attention to that which, okay, if these people are living a lavish lifestyle that I would like to live, what is it that they're doing differently? And see, is there anything, because you're never going to be them, and you shouldn't compare you specifically to them. Now, I will never tell anybody to do that. But what I will say is learn from their techniques. Apply what it is that you are learning. Learn to make what is, the technology can be so uncomfortable, and it can create, these Bluetooths here, I have it off or whatever, but I'm about to go into the gym. I'm about to cut this off. These things can create imbalances in the body. And so rather than using it all the time, I keep them away from me as much as I can. But if I'm going to utilize them, I'm going to utilize them to work in my favor. So the same way technology can expose a lot of toxins, it can also be a way of creating a cure. Because the digital technology, the artificial intelligence as opposed to the organic intelligence, it has to come from, we are the technology first. So we have to stimulate ourselves and create a balance within ourselves. If things are changing with our government, with our currency, and you already find yourself with the old technology in a space that has hindered you, in a space that has caused you to be in a scarcity mindset, in a spirit of lack, in a spirit of not knowing how to get out of poverty, why not take the initiative to say, hey, you know what? This person may be up to something. Let me have a conversation with them, at least a conversation. So that way, when things change, I'm also changing and moving forward. I'm staying ahead of the wave. I'm staying afloat. Or moving afloat, moving ahead of the wave, not staying. You don't want to drown. And sometimes that's going to require you to risk. And that risk is going to show you where your mindset is at. How much do you trust yourself? How much do you invest in yourself? Do you listen to your intuition? Do you doubt your intuition? Do you love yourself enough to let go of the fear? Feel the fear and do it anyway. The worst thing that can happen is you fail. That is the worst thing. The best thing, you win. You win. And if you fail, guess what? You've been failing all those other times that you was doing the same thing. But at least now you tried something different. So you learn something from that experience. And you change. And you say, all right, wait a minute. Maybe I got close. This time I'm going to do it a little bit different, because now I gained an experience. And I challenged my fear, and I did it anyways. So now that fear becomes smaller. And your cells and your body and everything begins to reprogram itself and shape, and you start looking different, you start talking different, you start feeling different. Your environment starts looking different because you're shifted. Now you see the fear and you start laughing at it. Ha 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 ha. I laugh at the face of danger. tapping into that mighty king within oneself, being courageous. Allow yourself to let go of what is not serving you and thrive into the being that you are, the being that you want to be. And if you want to be that toxic person, cool, be that, own it, but don't be in my inbox, because you will get blocked. And I'm saying this now because enough is enough. I have to be the change that I want to see. And if you don't like it, you could delete yourself. Or you can change. That's your choice. I am the captain of this ship. And whether it is raining or sunny, this boat will move and float accordingly. And if I ever get myself in a position where the ship is wrecked, I will know how to self-sustain and rebuild. But I am not gonna sit here and let someone else who is drowning on a boat try to make me drown and feel like I'm drowning when we on a motherfucking boat and we not even in the water. How you drowning on a boat? You not even in the water. Nah. I'm good. I have an imagination. It works really well. I know how to breathe. Yes. Very well. Thank you. So, happy spring equinox. May my essence pour lots of love and truth into your life where it waters those seeds that are planted in your mind, your body, and your spirit into very deep, fertile grounds where it is rooted in a strong foundation and it grows in your highest and greatest good. Okay? I thank you. I honor you. I love all aspects of my reflections, whether they are the ones that's sitting there having heart palpitations, thinking we drowning on a boat that we not even in the water, because I teach myself how to breathe in those essence. I was like, oh, I've been there. Hold on. I used to get anxiety attacks. Hold on. Like, now I learned how to breathe. Oh, now I laugh at myself. So when I see those mirrors, I breathe life into thyself to get back into balance. And it is done. And then all is well. No matter how long it takes. I'm going to breathe that life into myself in all my mirrors. Make sure they are clean. That while those heart palpitations, those anxiety attacks, that pain, that fear, when it comes across this essence of me, I learn to breathe and say, hold on, I want to heal. And throughout its journey, it begins to let go and heal. Because that is what the essence of love does. So all versions of me, every time it is touched with my vibration, the vibration of love, it shifts. And different versions of me may serve it at that time, and some versions are not, and that's okay. I let go of the expectations of how I think that's supposed to look, and I let love be the teacher and the healer, whether that's in a logical way, an emotional way, in a physical way, in a spiritual way, in any way. So I love you. We love you. We love us. And we shall rise.